skills, oh let's bring it. And I made a sweet deck to win it all this season. I can try to add changes, but every time I do that I think it was better before, so I won't change it anymore. La 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 ta ta la la ta, la 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 ta ta la la ta, la 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 ta ta la la ta, la 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 ta ta la ta. I went to a battle road and beat everyone and showed the skills I had, you know. I've done it all before, but this is a whole new season, so let's hope I won't get beaten. And I'll never hold back, cause you always have to attack. What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and we're at episode 61. This time we'll be looking over the results from the battle roads that are going on right now. So, as to be expected, we see Darkrai X, Heydragon coming out on top at most battle roads. And now let's check out some other decks that are doing really great. We have on the number 2 spot electric variants with Rayquaza build versions of the Eel deck that are doing really well. And then we have the regular base Zek Eels decks that are kicking and yeah, still alive. Next we also have an Eel version mixed together with Registeel and Mewtwo EXs, so that's surprisingly as well. And on the third spot we find Ho-Oh EX decks that surprisingly came out of nowhere to be really good. The deck uses almost every type of energy to use Ho-Oh EX efficiently, and it also runs Mewtwo EX and Registeel. So Mewtwo EX and Registeel are kind of like partners. Mewtwo EX, the heavy hitter, and Registeel spreading around damage. So both run on colorless energies, by the way, so it's quite fun to test them out. And yeah, the Ho-Oh EX deck is actually winning some battle roads, so that's interesting. And I might even make an episode about the Ho-Oh EX in particular. Alright, now on the number 4 spot we find Empoleon Terrakion. This deck has gained a bit more stability because the format has been slowed down. Without Smeargle out there, PONT and Junkarm, the deck can finally breathe when they bench your Piplups and stuff, because usually the Piplups got captured out and the deck fell apart right there. Surprisingly enough, no one has used Terrakion EX yet in this deck, but maybe it's the best option to use the regular Terrakion because he's very good as well and he doesn't take up 2 prize cards. And moving on, we have another deck, Garbodor Terrakion. This deck uses the ability of Garbodor to block abilities. That way the 2 decks that are hurt the most, the top decks, the Eel decks, can use their Dynamotor, and the Darkrai X don't give free retreat anymore. Also, the Dark Trance ability from Heydragon is blocked, so it actually breaks down the best deck, Darkrai X Heydragon, down completely. The strategy of Darkrai X Heydragon is just to keep alive turn after turn, but the Terrakions can attack the Darkrai X right away, and they can use their abilities, so they can't even retreat when they get captured up. So that's why paired with Terrakion, Garbodor is really great to deal with dark decks and stuff like that. The only problem is the slow setup, because Garbodor needs a tool card in order to have the ability lock, and with Tool Scraper around, the deck might be easy to counter. However, not many people play Tool Scraper yet, so that might be the option if you want to test out something unique. Garbodor. Alright, next up is the all-famous Garchomp Altaria deck. Well, it gained a lot of popularity these days because it runs on all new cards, but it isn't actually doing as well as I expected, since nobody made it in first place with the deck yet. Maybe it's because, yeah, you can easily get donked with the shiny Rayquaza out there, the almighty expensive card, or they lose when they setup doesn't work, like you can't get out your Gabites or something like that. If you have a terrible hand, the deck falls apart, but if you can get out one Gabite, you can just use the ability Dragon Call to get out all the dragons. Yeah, it's a really nice deck and you should test it out if you haven't already. And now to the winning deck of the World Championships of 2012, Darkrai X, Mewtwo EX. It's still doing really well, but now with Shaman Gun, they have to run Energy Switch. That's a little sidekick. Also, people are trying out Sableye in every Darkrai deck because it's like a Junkarm in need. You can just get back your Dark Patches, your Catchers, maybe Max Potions if you run a Heydragon version. So Sableye, a really great card to look out if you're building a Dark deck. And the last deck I want to mention is an Asselgar Gothitelle Mew EX deck. I know it sounds like a rogue deck, and it actually is a rogue deck. It uses the ability from Mew EX to use Asselgar's paralyzation attack, and then they promote Gothitelle to put the opponent in a trainer lock. The good thing is that they can use catchers, so your Asselgar on the bench is always safe. The only thing you have to get out is a DCE with a Mew EX to use this turn after turn. So that's actually not that hard. You do have to run some switches because yeah, otherwise your Gothitelle will get stuck. But yeah, in the past you had to evolve into Asselgar first, and that wasn't working out that well. And that's it for the top decks at the moment. I hope you enjoyed this small list of good decks, and maybe you can test out the majority of the decks. And anyway, now let's go on to Poké-News. I have tons of news this time around, and we start with some Plasma Gale news, the Japanese set that will be released in September. We have some more scans. There will be a Rotom that can deal 20 damage times the number of trainer cards in your opponent's hands, and this also includes stadiums and supporters. So good news for the eel players to have something up their sleeve to just put a Rotom down there and just deal a lot of damage with only 2 energies actually. And then there's also a stadium card that gives all Pokemon no weakness, and if they have a plasma energy attached, that is. So that's great, because in the future plasma Pokemon will be so powerful. But this stadium card also works for regular Pokemon, since you can attach plasma energies to basically any Pokemon you want. And then we also have some interesting cards out there, like Infernape, that can deal 120 damage for only a Fire and a Colorless energy. And then you have to discard all energies attached to Infernape, but that's a small downside, because yeah, you can just run a deck with Ambor, and yeah, if you want to test out Infernape, it can deal a lot of damage fast. Also, if you run 2 stage 2s, you have to max out your rare candies by 4 if you yeah, if you're playing a deck that's so important with stage 2s. Also, the World Championship invites will be earned differently this season. It won't be the top 40 or something like that from a specific country to get an invite, but they'll make a mark that you can shoot for. That way everyone can try to do their best to get to that certain point to get your invite. It's quite interesting for intense players that always make it to every tournament, and yeah, you want to have that invite, but you don't always get your invite because there are so many players and in your country that doing well. So with that mark, it'll be quite efficient to see how many players will go to Worlds. Hopefully the mark will be efficient that not too many players go to Worlds, but it has to be reasonable for persons to get to Worlds. So hopefully they'll find the number for this. Next up is news about the Mini Dragon set that will be released in stores the first week of October. You'll only be getting the Dragon Vault boosters in this blister, as we know so far. It's a mini set, so I talked about this before in my older episodes. So there will be like 20 cards in the entire set, but it's quite interesting because a fast ticket might be in there, and that's also something that is really dominant if you can start the battle first with that card. And yeah, if you don't know what first ticket does, or a fast ticket, whatever it's called, you can just check my older episodes on my channel, or just look it up on YouTube or Google or something like that. And the blister also gives us a badass looking Dredagon, which is great. And back to Team Plasma now. There's one heck of a supporter coming our way. It's Colorless, and lets you shuffle your hand into your deck like every shuffle card out there, but it lets you draw the amount of cards equal to the total amount of bench Pokemon. So when the bench is full on both sides, you can draw 10 cards. So the format will be insanely fast in the future, or people will just play less bench Pokemon, but with the Eels needing the space, as well as Heydragon and Altaria, the future has one heck of supporter that is coming up. Also, if you want to inflict status conditions, there will also be an item card that immediately poisons the defending Pokemon. Wow! Remember Raticate, the card that I talked about that will be really popular, where they attack Super Fang that leaves 10 HP on their defending Pokemon. So yeah, with that card you can actually one-hit KO Pokemons right away with that poison status condition compared with Super Fang. So that's quite exciting to see many powerful combinations to be used in the future to knock out the X's. But that's not all. You can also flip a coin with that item card, and if it has the defending Pokemon is also asleep. No wonder this card is called Poison Hypnotic Beam. I know there's a lot of news this week, so let's move on. Our new set, Boundaries Crossed, will be released this November, on the 7th of September actually, and it will feature the cards from Freeze Ball and Cold Flare. So the X's you remember, Keldeo EX, Celebi EX, Cresselia, Black Kyurem EX, and White Kyurem EX, and some others maybe. Yeah, that's amazing news. And to end this episode with an epic ending, there's Zapdos EX coming our way. Yep, that's right. In the new Battle Strength decks that will be released this October in Japan, you'll be able to get Black Kyurem EX and Zapdos EX in the deck, and in the other deck you'll get White Kyurem EX together with Moltres EX. So quite exciting news. And yeah, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, click the like button, because you know I always appreciate that. And if you have any questions, thoughts, or some great suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, here's your chance. That way you'll stay updated once I upload a new video, and I'll be uploading a Dragon XL booster box soon. So yeah, until then, this was ZapdosTCG. Thanks for watching, and yeah, till next time.